Happy Wild Card Saturday. First day of a very action packed weekend. We are looking at some Bills and some Jags and some Rams and some Panthers, as well as some Texans and Steelers and so on and so on. But of course, we want to jump straight into the coaching situations now. Before we get into the playoffs, as everyone knows, Black Monday has came and passed, and it took in some bodies, so to speak, man. Some of these situations, I think the writing was on the wall a little bit. You talk about Raheem Morris in Atlanta, back to back 8 and 9 seasons. Uh, Whether or not you believe 8 and 9 is on the cusp, it's a very thin line between success and failure in the NFL. And when you look at 8 and 9, it's all in the eye of the beholder and the current state of your organization in regards to how you view that 8 and 9. But for the Atlanta Falcons, for that matter, that was a team that was fully loaded, lots of talent on defense, pass rushers. You got a pretty good young secondary. You got one of the best running backs in all of football in Bijan Robinson. You probably got one of the best running back rooms overall in football in Bijan Robinson and Algier and a couple other guys they have over there. A dynamite young tight end. You got Drake London. You've got a lot. And what happened with a team that can go 8 and 9 with that much talent and have no quarterback play, so to speak, is a team that's right there on the cusp. But once again, 8 and 9 for the Atlanta Falcons was not viewed as success. It was viewed as another failure for a team that felt like they should have been farther ahead than what they were. So they got rid of the head coach. And what are your initial thoughts on that? Because this is still a situation where, and we talked about this a couple days ago. Yes, you have a very talented roster, but you don't have a quarterback. And ultimately, not having a quarterback, regardless of how talented your roster is, not having a quarterback to get you over the top or even get you to the front door, that can get you fired in 2 or 3 years. So, Raheem Morris out of Atlanta, what do you think?
Well, I don't know if you saw the comments that Arthur Blank made a couple of days ago saying that he thinks that Michael Penix is the franchise quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Raheem Morris's downfall, along with the GM, was when they signed Kirk Cousins to all that money in free agency. Was it last year? Yeah. And they drafted Michael Penix. Now everyone remembers that the draft room shot of the Falcons when Arthur Blank is going up essentially to the GM and kind of seems like he was asking some questions when they drafted Michael Penix. Now Raheem Morris said that was the plan all along, was to sign Kirk and then draft a quarterback as well. So to me, that's what kind of ended up getting him fired from the job.
Did that get him fired or not telling the man who signs your checks that you're
Well,
going to
that
do it?
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, definitely that. But I think the mistake was when you drafted Michael Penix and you spent all this money, on Kirk Cousins and free agency too.
Yeah, and if I was Arthur Blank, I would have had some questions too because I just gave this man a lot of guaranteed damn money, and then you take that high of a pick and you invest it in another quarterback, and not some young hotshot quarterback full of promise. You invested in a guy who had multiple knee injuries in college, has never really been that mobile of a quarterback, and he's a guy who likes to stand firm in the pocket on one platform and fire fastballs all day. So to go from Taylor Heineke to Desmond Ritter, who turned out to be a complete flame out there, and then you have an offseason where you strike out at quarterback with two guys, because we can't necessarily exonerate Arthur Blank from this neither. Because you gave the money to that man, Kirk Cousins. Regardless of how you felt about Kirk Cousins overall as a talent in this league or a starting NFL quarterback, he's decent. He'll give you numbers, but he was coming off of what, an ACL injury in Minnesota.
Achilles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Achilles for a 33, 34 plus year old quarterback.
yeah,
And
he's
you
up
give
there.
him, yeah.
And a lot of people thought that Raheem Morris, his job was going to be safe because the Falcons ended up winning the last 4 games of the season. They had beaten the Bills. earlier in the season as well. But I mean, everything comes back to the decision they made to draft Michael Penix, and then even though you had signed Kirk Cousins already to a big contract, and he's going to be free agent, they're going to cut him, in March. So now it's like, what's the move? Now the first domino has fallen for the Falcons as they hired Matt Ryan as a president of football operations. So there is a head coach out there that's gaining a lot of interest. You know who that is? John Harbaugh. So a report came out that John Harbaugh essentially has some requests wherever he ends up next season. So one of them being he wants $20 million per year. He wants $10 million to get a staff together. He wants total authority over the roster and would like to select his own GM. Now that eliminates a couple of teams. One of them being the Miami Dolphins. You just hired a GM from the Packers. Yesterday? That eliminates
the Browns too.
The Browns.
Haslam ain't having that. He ain't
Andrew
having
Bear's still there. The Giants, Joe Shane's still there, unless something happens and they're negotiating and says, "Hey, I want Shane gone." And then at that point, that would be an opening for him. But Tennessee, I guess, would be the other option. I'm not too sure what's going on with the front office there. But yeah, I mean, to me, the most likely scenario is I think John Harbaugh is going to be the next head coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, we talked about that before the show. I could see it with Arthur Blank. I can't see it necessarily with Arthur Blank and Matt Ryan. I touched on how I kind of figured it's not guaranteed to happen that way, but when you talk about the egos involved in that entire situation, not to say Matt Ryan necessarily has an ego, but I'm pretty sure Matt Ryan is a very competitive individual, and that spans outside of just being a quarterback in the NFL. You're talking about him being president of player personnel,
vice president of football operations.
Yeah. Okay. So he's not going to bring in a guy that's going to undermine him.
But here's the thing, though. If you bring in Matt Ryan, it's for a reason. You trust him to kind of get things going back in the right direction. So, I mean, look, there's no GM there yet. So what's to say that they hire John Harbaugh and then he helps them select the GM as well? No, look, the other scenario I can see happening is that the Giants do fire Joe Shane, right? And then at that point, that's an opening. They already kind of, I guess, have a franchise quarterback now in Jackson Dart if he's able to not get too many concussions next season. So I think it's going to either be the Giants or the Falcons. But right now, the Falcons don't have a GM opening, and apparently that's one of his requests is that he wants to select his guy. He wants total, control over the roster. We know that's not going to happen in Cleveland, Miami, things like that. So we'll see. But I expect something to happen fairly quick, probably next week.
He wants to select his GM, huh?
Now, when you think about it, who would he want to select? Probably somebody off, Baltimore's staff there, possibly, or maybe someone with the Chargers that he knows with his brother.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think that this offseason is just full of so much mess and chaos because it's and failure in the NFL. You look at 8-9, it's all in. Really want to come in under. Oh, I guess we're still going. So if you're a GM and you come under the moniker that you were given this job by, and hold up, let me go ahead and bring Fidel back on.
There we are.
Good?
We're good.
All right, so listen, if you're a GM, I was talking to these people about Matt Ryan's situation, but if you're a first-time GM, or no, you're a first-time president of operations, not from a manipulation standpoint, but from a standpoint of having someone who appreciates the job because you gave them that job, and they're more prone to be on the same wavelength thinking wise as you are. And I don't find anything wrong with that. But if you bring in a John Harbaugh, this man already has an aura of himself. Look at all the stipulations he has right now. And he's also been a head coach in the league for 18 years. And if you're Matt Ryan, you're a first timer at this. So you're kind of at the mercy of your head coach. And I'm not sure if Matt Ryan necessarily would want that. I would see Matt Ryan going in a younger direction. Offensive minded head coach for damn sure. You can expect him to go in that direction. And they got
Well,
to get that quarterback situation solved
well,
too. But they don't have
if
a first round pick.
well, if that's the case, then Clint Kubiak would be the name that would first pop up in my head. I don't think they're going to go after Mike McDaniel. I don't think that's the option. The other thing too is Michael Penix. He's probably going to be out at least the first part of the season next year. I mean, who knows? It's his third ACL tear, twice in one knee. So I mean, now you got to figure out that whole situation. Kirk Cousins is going to be cut just because of the money. So are you going to draft a quarterback? Or are you going to sign a quarterback in free agency? Maybe Jacoby Brissett as a bridge quarterback. I mean, I'm not. They got some issues there, but the first one is going to be hiring the head coach, and I think John Harbaugh is going to be a pretty good option for them.
Yeah, I think if you're Atlanta, you got is it 3 teams have 2 first round picks this year? The
Yep.
Rams, the Jets, and it is the Browns.
I believe they might have 2 in the top 40.
Okay, so if you're Atlanta, I think it's worth it. I think the work behind it is worth it. Try to find a way to get back into the first round. Find a way to recoup that first round pick that you had to ship over to the Rams. Figure out a way to get to a quarterback. You've already stated that my dogs are barking because my wife is coming in the house.
Big
Um,
fans. Big
yep,
fans of the show.
I'm gonna let this dog right here out so he can go downstairs. Please excuse me. But no, I think if you're the Rams, not the Rams, but the Falcons, you're literally a quarterback away. Like you've been an 8-win team with bad quarterback play the last 2 years. Like they're literally a quarterback away. You've got running backs, you've got wide receivers, tight ends, decent offensive line, young players on defense that can get after the quarterback. If you're the Falcons, you don't need too many more regular roster filling players. Like you need a quarterback. It's obvious that's what you need. So do you trade future first round picks to go get a guy? Now you've
But
already said
who?
the Raiders ain't moving off the number
They're
one
not going to
overall
move.
pick.
We saw what Fernando Mendoza did last night. He's going to be the first overall pick, and that's who the Raiders are going to select. No doubt about it, in my mind. Now, the draft class, as far as quarterback goes, it's not too strong, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. Is there a free agent quarterback? I mean, I haven't really dug into free agency yet that might be available that you might want to
Stopgap.
sign. Something.
Are you kind of like sacrificing next season if you go out there and you just sign a journeyman?
Well, we've seen crazier things happen. So they got to figure out who's going to be the quarterback for them. I mean, I would think that at some point Michael Penix is going to be back next season. But what if he comes back? I mean, coming off an injury and he's struggling. What do you do at that point?
Right. Well,
And here's the other thing too: the division, right? It's not too strong of the division. Carolina won the division with a losing record, essentially, right? You got Tampa Bay; they got their own issues. They've essentially fired everyone on the staff, right? Besides Todd Bowles. You got the Saints that are still trying to figure things out. You know, with Kellen Moore, so pretty enticing to me.
and then if you look at everything from a financial standpoint, they can't even go out there if a big name quarterback became available. Even though I know these people, they pay a lot of money to people who can manipulate the salary cap, maneuver money around, push money back, bring money forward for you to go get players. Financially, I'm not even sure if they can go and get a guy if he became available. And we
Well,
talked about this earlier. Like, what if Lamar Jackson in Baltimore became available.
Well, he's not going to the
Good.
Falcons. That's one of the reasons why John Harbaugh's not with the Ravens anymore. So I'm looking at the cap space for the offseason, and they have about 47 million. But of course, that's not counting whatever happens with the Kirk Cousins contract.
So if you're Atlanta,
Oh,
man,
here we
they
go.
kind of in quarterback purgatory right now
All
because
right,
you're not bad.
here's the cap hits. If they were to let go of Kirk Cousins, then all indication seems like that's the way they're going to go. It's $24.6 million that they're going to have to eat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're kind of in quarterback purgatory right now. Where I mean, you're as a team, you're too talented of a roster to lose enough to pick in the top five. But you're going to be somewhere around 7, 8 wins with no quarterback play. So it's like, if somebody became available, do you even view them as good enough to go after? Because everybody wants what 3 first-round picks for their quarterbacks now, a quarterback with a pulse. They almost have to hope they hit on somebody with some blind luck in the draft. That
But,
may be their
but,
best shot.
but who would it be?
Well, I mean, we're talking about what 2nd round, 3rd round quarterbacks. You got to
Would
hope
it
that
be?
maybe you hit on one of those type of guys.
Well, what about that the kid at Ole Miss? I saw that he was trying to, extend
Chambers,
his eligibility, and they
six
denied
year.
it. So maybe
I mean, if
him
he's there,
late
if you're
rounds.
Atlanta, they're taking a quarterback.
But
You
question
you
is
know
who?
that.
I don't think they're going to do in the first round. Well, they don't even have a
But
first round
yeah,
pick to do. So
2nd round, I can see them doing it. If the right guy, I can see them moving up. What Atlanta, not Atlanta. The Rams currently have 13 and was it 13 and 32 or 13 and 29? 13 and 29, if I'm not mistaken. Um, if the right guy starts to fall, if you're Atlanta, you could trade back into the first round at the end of the first round to take a guy.
I mean, to you, what's the better job, the Giants or the Falcons?
Falcons. I think that's a team that's already built. They've had competent ownership before. Can't say the same for the Giants, even though the Giants, since the Eli days, it hasn't been very good. But that's a very good roster. On both sides of the football. I like Arthur Blank as an owner. Arthur Blank is willing to do what it takes to win. I think Arthur Blank really wants to win. Uh, have no proof that Matt Ryan is going to be any good at his job, but I just got a good feeling about Matt Ryan and how he carries himself. I like the fact that they went back and they got a quarterback and they got a guy that was a pillar in the community as well as the organization. I'm not sure exactly what terms Matt Ryan in Atlanta ended everything on when he left finally as a player, but I think that's going to work out for them.
I
So
do
if
too.
I, as a
Uh,
head coach, I would trust that I would have to sit down with Matt Ryan, and you got to have an honest conversation with these owners and these GMs and all these other people about their quarterbacks too. Because I think a lot of times there's only so many head coaching jobs every offseason. So when you get offered a head coaching job, a lot of these assistants, they take it because the opportunities don't come around very often, not every offseason. But you got to be honest about these quarterbacks too. Like, don't take the Falcons job and tell Arthur Blank or tell Matt Ryan everything you think they want to hear, which is, oh yeah, I love Michael Penix and I'm going to turn him around and he's right there on the cusp of greatness, knowing good and well you don't like him.
all right, so I have a list of free agent quarterbacks this offseason. So Russell Wilson, Marcus Mariota,
Oh,
Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Zach Wilson. I think Malik Willis would be the obvious choice, but how much money is he going to want?
I don't think he's going to demand much. Out of those guys, I would say him
They will have competition for his
and
services, though.
yeah, I would have him and Marcus Mariota. I would trust Marcus Mariota to run the offense for a season. But once again, you're kind of stuck in purgatory because Marcus Mariota with that team isn't bad enough to, to pick in the top 6 or the top 7 even next year. If you want what Arch Manning, next year would be the Arch Manning sweepstakes, huh?
Is it even a guarantee he's going to come out next year?
Yeah, yeah, I believe so. Not guaranteed, but I just feel like say if you're Atlanta, you know Kirk Cousins won't be there next season, and you're not. Well, damn.
Well, maybe you bring in Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Why not?
If the quarterback play in the NFL gotten that bad, we just recycling this old man.
I mean, we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons, man. So
I mean, who else could possibly become available? Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow wants out of
Jimmy
Cincinnati,
Garoppolo.
and it won't. If it'll happen, it'll happen next offseason. The Bengals are gonna fight Joe Burrow to the deaths on that. But I mean, listen, the better quarterbacks in the NFL don't come available that often. You have to almost, in order to get one inside the NFL, you almost have to trade for somebody's backups. And a lot of teams don't even want to give up their backup quarterbacks. Like if they wanted to, let's say for instance, they like Tanner McKee in Atlanta, and they feel like with what they have in place, same thing Atlanta did with Houston when Houston traded for Matt Schaub. Now he had already had starting experience when Michael Vick went out, and he played really well when Michael Vick went out. But you could always trade for somebody's young backup. You gonna give Zach Wilson a chance? You're gonna sign him in the offseason?
No, that's done. No. Well, maybe.
How much money Miami gonna eat? Because you got to pay me to take him.
A lot. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you need a lot.
Moving on. Giants. Jackson Dart, franchise quarterback. You believe it?
I do.
Think he can stay healthy enough?
That's the question, man.
Good enough in the pocket?
He's got all the talent in the world, man. He needs to learn how to slide and avoid big hits.
All the talent in the world.
Well, he can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He knows how to run the offense. He beat the Eagles early in the year.
Oh man, I'll throw that out there.
He did have a big lead against the Broncos.
How attractive is that job?
Well, you got Malik Neighbors coming back from a torn ACL, right? You got Cam Skadu coming back from a broken ankle. We saw how he was able to make some plays when he was healthy. You got some defensive pieces there. I mean, just the only thing that's not attractive is Joe Schoen being the GM.
Offensive line still shaky at best.
Yeah, but they can fix the issues. The left tackle was essentially out the whole year, so he's going to come back.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels more so like whatever's going on with the New York Giants is just too deep rooted for a coach to come along and change.
But then when you're thinking about where the division stands with the Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, and then them, I mean, to me, the more attractive job is the Falcons.
Yeah, of course. Ownership in Atlanta isn't as dysfunctional. The hierarchy isn't as it is or considered as toxic as it is in Cincinnati too. Cincinnati, Cleveland, both New York football teams. We haven't even gotten to the Jets, even though there was rumors that their head coach could be one and done. But
we don't have to get to the Jets.
Let's not talk Jets.
We really don't need to talk about that situation.
Let's not talk Jets. But what about Tennessee? You got Cam Ward. Now that's a situation where, as a head coach, if you take that job, you have to sign up for Cam Ward. Cam played a lot better as the season unfolded. When the season first started, I thought he was really poor the first few weeks, couldn't move the offense. But as the season unfolded, as I said, he eventually started to throw the football better from the pocket. They protected him a little bit better. Nowhere near as good as they need to. But that's a team that they needs a lot of pieces. They look to have hit on some young wide receivers over there. But once again, you're picking in the top 5.
I don't think that job's very attractive at all. They are going to have a new stadium though soon, so maybe that's one of the pointers. But to me, it kind of seems like ownership doesn't know what direction they want to go in. We saw Brian Callahan got fired.
2 years.
We saw the whole fiasco with Mike Vrabel. Yeah.
You let Mike Vrabel go.
Trade away AJ Brown.
Now he's back in New England with Drake May and a double-digit win team, and you're in Tennessee. So it looks like you blew everything up just for the sake of blowing it up.
Yeah, I don't think it's a very attractive job.
I mean,
I heard Nashville's a nice place though. Never been.
draft picks. I've been through there. Nice place. Nice place. Uh, not the brightest free agent destination. I get it. I don't know exactly what the temperament of the ownership is there in Tennessee, but if you bank on Tennessee, you're banking on being able to get the most out of a Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Because regardless of what organization you're at, if you can get a quarterback to an elite level, you have a chance to win a lot of games. That's just plain and simple. All you gotta do is make sure you build an offensive line around them. You build a defensive line around them. Make sure the team is strong on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Run the football well. That's why I think it's important for them to either get a high-level tight end in this draft, like maybe King Sadiq from Oregon, or maybe they can get Jeremiah Love. I felt Jeremiah Love in Notre Dame would be the perfect fit for either him in Tennessee or Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. So they have another high pick, which typically teams who pick number 1 overall, what happens the very next year? They get another high pick. The Jags took Trevor Lawrence, then the very next year they took Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Yeah. So and look where the Jags are now. And look where Trevor is at right now. His coach ain't getting fired.
Yeah. Well, credit to him. Credit to Liam Cohen. Duval.
We made fun of that man. Now look at him.
We did. And look, it seems like he was the right guy for the job in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll be getting into that game, tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
All right, man. So let's talk about some of this football, bro. Let's start things out. The 4:30 game today. Eastern, my time, it'll be starting in 3 hours. So Rams Panthers. What were the numbers we were looking at earlier in regards to this? I think the win probability for the Rams was 89.1%, and the win probability for the Panthers was 17.9%, which means one thing to me. The Rams are going to get, if the game is too close down the stretch, the Rams may get robbed. I'm not saying anything is fixed, but if you pay attention to the history of these books and how these numbers are calculated prior to these games 2-3 days before, if you can, please bring up the betting site.
Before we do that, I do want to go over some numbers from the last time they played, which earlier in the year in Carolina, Panthers beat the Rams 31-28. Matthew Stafford had some turnovers, a pick six. They threw the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Were able to run the ball as well. Blake Corum rushed for 81 yards on 7 carries. Carolina the defense played pretty good against the Rams, and they were able to force the turnovers, and that was really the difference in the game. Bryce Young, he threw for 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah, I think it was a game where very similar to that Philadelphia Eagle loss earlier in the season, where sometimes the Rams are screwed themselves out of games. Both of those games, they built leads. They looked dominant early. The rushing attack was working in both of those games. And instead of just grinding the game out against Carolina, you got cute too much, kept throwing the football, and what happens typically in that situation? The football gods frown upon that. So you wound up, and when you throw the ball too much, bad things start to happen. Tip balls start to happen, which is what happened to Stafford. He threw the pick six. I think they had a fumble also in that game. And if you give any team too many chances, especially when you're playing on the road, you're playing with fire.
So I have that line. So right now it stands, the Rams are 10.5-point favorites over the Panthers, minus 600. So if you bet, you bet 600 to win 100, basically on the Rams.
Yeah. And I guarantee you majority of that money right now is on Carolina, because anybody who's gambling on this game knows you can't make any money off the Rams in this game unless you honestly take the Panthers. So, I mean, I think a lot of people are taking Carolina too. That's why I think if this game is too close down the stretch, we could see some funny business. Um, by third quarter, if the money turns and 80% of the money is now on Carolina, you could see something crazy happen in this game. But you talked about the weather and how rough the weather may be. And that's not turf there in Carolina. That's still regular grass, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So grass, rain, that field starts to tear up a little bit. I don't know. Um,
The points line is 46.
I could see somewhere around that. I could also see a 23-20 game where Carolina wins, but they kind of, and I'm saying I think Carolina wins. I think a lot in this game points towards Carolina winning. I do.
As as much as I want to, agree
No,
with you, I
I
can't.
know.
Can't agree with you. Um, in all reality, the Rams should be hosting this game, but
Shoulda,
because
coulda, woulda.
the Panthers won the division, they're hosting it. So now Devontae Adams is going to be back today for the Rams. We know that he's an issue when they get to the red zone. Scores a lot of touchdowns. I want to pick the Rams to win this game.
You wanna or you are?
I'm going to. I'm taking the
I mean,
Rams.
I get it. I get it. They should. They should. Huge game for Bryce Young. First career playoff start. Dave Canales, first career playoff coached game against a guy. Think about this matchup, this quarterback head coach matchup. You got Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford versus Dave Canales and Bryce Young. The ultimate mismatch,
Just
the
based,
ultimate 1-8. This is the ultimate 1-8
just
matchup.
based off of that, I'm taking the Rams.
You took the Rams of that regular season matchup too.
I did. I did.
I don't know, man. Listen, we've seen these situations where the higher ranked team, the team with the better record, had to go on the road and lose. That's why I'm thinking, like, if you're truly the better team, you should be able to win on the road. Granted, do you want to play at home in that situation? Of course. But you should be able to win on the road. Now, we've seen quite a few situations where the 12 and 4 team went on the road and lost to the 7-win team, the 7-9 team, whatever back in the day. Just that's what I'm saying. Be leery of it. Be leery of it.
Would this be the biggest upset since that Saints and Seahawks wild card game the year after they won the Super Bowl in Seattle?
Off recent memory, not being able to sit back and really comb through the last 10 years worth of playoffs, probably so. Probably so. Yeah. And the Saints won like 13 games that year?
Yeah.
And Seattle ambushed them.
And Seattle won the division, so that's why they hosted the game.
Yep. Listen. Blame your division. The Rams and the 49ers got beefs too. Because they should probably be playing at home too. So I mean, it happens, man. Every year you have it. Listen, last year the NFC North, Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay all made it. This year, 3 teams from the NFC West made it. It happens. But I just think that, if who establishes the run first and sticks with it more? Because I think Carolina wants to.
Well, if Carolina's going to win this football game, it's going to have to be them.
Rico Dowdell and Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard has the speed to go the distance. Rico Dowdell is the better all-around back, I think. Can also break some long runs. Ted McMillan, if you get the occasional big play to him. Bryce has taken the initiative to get him the ball a whole lot more. They can do it, but I think in order for Carolina to do it, for me, it feels more so like a manufactured win. Like the Rams, in theory, they got triple the amount of sacks, if I'm not mistaken, that Carolina has this season. So the Rams can definitely get after the quarterback. We all know Bryce Young doesn't like to be flustered, doesn't like to be blitzed. No quarterback does. And you're also talking about a smaller quarterback at 5'11", 6 foot for that matter. So it feels more so that if Carolina wins this game, they have a strict set of rules and parameters that they have to follow. We must stop the run first. We must force the Rams in this game, I believe, to throw the ball more. You want the
Well, there's
Rams.
got to be turnovers
You want
involved.
the Rams to
You got to
throw the
get
ball
after.
more in that weather.
You got to get after Matthew Stafford. You got to force him to turn the ball over, and that's how they win the game.
I think Derek Brown probably has to be their best player on the interior. He has to be a terror on the interior of that defensive line. I like Carolina's secondary matchup wise with them. What do you do with J.C. Horn? Do you strap J.C. Horn on Puka Nacua all game, or do you stay in that cover 3 zone and try to shrink things window wise for Stafford?
I think you keep him there in cover 3, because I mean, essentially, Puka's a great, but I mean, in this game, I feel like Davante Adams is going to be the key for the Rams to win the football game.
He's going to have to prove it. I think Davante coming back from injury, he's going to have to prove it. But they've hit on some players in this draft too, for this draft class. Carolina, they've got the horses defensively to do it. If Carolina offensively runs the ball well and does not turn the ball over, I can see this being a very close game, a closer game than people really thought they were going to see.
Now, if you're the Rams and you're going to win this football game, you're going to have to get after Bryce Young. You're going to have to eliminate the run, and you're going to have to force him to throw the football more. And that's how they're going to win the game.
Also, you got to take the crowd out of it, because even though this is a young Carolina Panthers football team, nobody on this team, if I'm mistaken, has been in the playoffs. But the fan base has.
Well, and I think Cam Newton's going to be there today. He's going to be pounding the drum. So they'll be hyped up to start the game. But
yeah,
so, I mean, if you're the Rams, you win the coin toss, you don't defer, you take the football, and you score.
Yeah. And like I said, if you're the Carolina Panthers, this is something else I believe plays in their favor as well, because, like I said, this is a fan base that knows playoff football. They know successful football. Remember, they were in the Super Bowl, their third year in existence or second year in existence under Jake Delhomme?
No, I think they'd have been.
No, they were in the NFC Championship game, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so they've been to 2 playoffs in their history. They've been in tons of playoff games. That Carolina fan base, and that's a tough place to play, man. That's a loud, huge place to play. So all a young team like Carolina needs is a turnover here and there, a 3 and out here and there. And then it turns into, damn, we the 13, 14 win team, but we struggling at Carolina against this young ass football team.
And think about it this way too. I mean, Panthers are playing with house money. No one expected them to win the division. No one expected them to be in the playoffs. All the pressure's on the Rams, and they already lost once to the Panthers. So to me, all the pressure's on the Rams. Because if you're the Carolina Panthers, young football team, young quarterback, second-year head coach, you made the playoffs. That's an accomplishment. You won the division. And now it's like, hey, whatever happens, happens. I mean, no one's really expecting them to win the football game. I mean, the line I just read to you kind of tells the story.
Yeah, I mean, if they lose, there's no shame in it at all for them. You know, they made the playoffs their third year under Bryce Young. Now next year you have to expect to win the division. You came within, well, even though they won the division technically. But
8-9, they won division.
And they did lose and look bad against Tampa Bay. But now there's no room for anything but for you to go up. So like you said, I mean, if you're Carolina, play smart, run the football, don't get outside yourself, play calling wise. I do believe that if you're Carolina, and to your credit, what you just said, you're kind of playing with house money, throw a trick play in here and there. Because if you can score an easy touchdown, whether it be a defensive touchdown, a touchdown on the kick return, a fumble return for a touchdown, a trick play for a touchdown to an offensive lineman or something like that, get a cheap touchdown. As I like to call them, they need a layup. They need at least one layup in this game. Because if your offense can manufacture 20 points, 23 points, and then you can generate a touchdown on special teams, or maybe a touchdown defensively, that's enough of a game changer right there, where you now have a game where you can honestly beat the Rams. I don't think it's that far-fetched that in this situation, in that building, Carolina could take them down. I just don't see it as a situation that can't happen.
That 10.5 is a lot of points to cover. So I mean, I
Yeah.
would imagine it would be a close game, but I mean, who knows? Maybe the Rams blow them out.
I mean, is that a line to just draw money in? Because 10.5 for a road team and a playoff game is a little excessive.
All right, so here's my thing. So if the Rams are going to win, they're going to blow the Panthers out. If it's close, I think Carolina beats them.
So what do you call it? If Carolina wins, it's like a 3 to 6 point game,
Yeah, I would imagine it'll be a 3-point game.
and if the Rams win, it's
They probably won by a couple touchdowns.
14 plus,
Yeah,
or
and I
it's
think and I think that's the way that they're seeing it.
that's not too much. Oh, well, I guess the lack of confidence in a close game for the Rams points to the fact that they are playing on the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Carolina winning the division at 8-9.
We've seen worse 8-9s now.
I mean, look, I know this team.
What was
beat a couple
Seattle's
good
record
teams.
when they beat the Saints?
That's a good question.
9-7, maybe.
Matthew Hasselbeck was the quarterback for the Seahawks.
He was. You sure?
He was. I'm positive.
Well, I mean, like I said, 10 points. Road favorite is a little excessive for a playoff game. That's kind of begging bettors to take Panthers. Everybody I know said they're taking Carolina to cover the 10 points.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let's move on to tonight's game. All right, so 8 p.m. Oh boy. NFC North rematch. These two teams are playing each other for the third time.
Mm-hmm.
Third time today. Packers at Bears.
Within a month,
Back-to-back
right?
games.
Essentially within a month.
Yep.
They-
Yep. Packers at Bears, back-to-back at Soldier Field. Bears won in walk-off fashion in overtime a few weeks ago. Caleb Williams with the big-time throw to DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on in as far as the Packers and the quarterback situation while I bring up these injuries real quick?
So Jordan Love is a go. So it looks like he's cleared from that concussion protocol. We know that he was out last week or last couple of weeks, right, with that injury. So he looks like he's going to be a full go. Josh Jacobs will play today. Apparently, he said that he feels better than what he's had the whole season. So we know on the defensive side of the football, they're missing obviously Micah Parsons, right? They did sign Trayvon Diggs a couple weeks back, so I would assume that he is going to play tonight. But to me, I mean, overall, I think this is a game the Bears are going to win.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up a little bit more with this Bears injury report as well as
Well,
the Packers.
as far as defenses go, we know both teams cannot stop the run, so I think
Yeah.
that's going to be a big factor tonight. Weather is going to be another issue. It might be pretty windy when the kickoff starts. It is raining right now in Chicago. I think that's going to stop by the time the game starts, but just something else to keep in mind. And look, we're talking about a team that they played each other, 3 times in a month?
Yeah, I mean,
We're talking about a football team in Chicago that, with a new coach, second-year quarterback, won the
Yeah.
division.
yeah. And if you're Green Bay, you're dealing with a shaky quarterback situation right now. Walking into this game, you're not the most physical at the line of scrimmage. The Bears are one of the 2 to 3 best teams in the league in 2025 at running the football. Ben Johnson came from here. This is what we did when he was here. He's shown, if nothing else this season, a dedication to punch you in the mouth with the football offensively. People thought when Ben Johnson was here, it was all about high wire passing accidents, and then no, Ben Johnson learned under, was it? Well, it wasn't Sean Payton. I know, but Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell came from there, from New Orleans, and they believed in the multifaceted backs, the one versatile back, the Alvin Kamara, the Jahmyr Gibbs, and then you have a hammer like a Pierre Thomas or a Deuce McAllister, or in our case, a Jamal Williams or a David Montgomery. The Bears are perfectly fine with running the football. and they take the ball away on defense.
And then another key injury return for the Bears is Roma Dunze. Looks like he's going to go. He's
Yep.
been dealing with that foot injury. C.J. Gardner-Johnson is going to be out for today's game
Yep.
for the Bears with a concussion. But besides that, everything looks pretty good for both football teams.
Yep. And also Grady Jarrett had full
Yep.
participation.
Yeah,
So
he's been dealing with it was more of a rest for him. And
yeah,
let's see, he did not practice on Wednesday, but he was a full go on Thursday. So he's going to be playing tonight.
you see a path for Green Bay to win this game. I
I
mean,
don't.
they're even beat up at
I
wide
mean,
receiver.
yeah, I mean, well, we know Christian Watson's dealing with a shoulder injury, but he's going to play tonight. Look, the only way I can see them winning this football game is that they run for like, I don't know, over 150 yards, and they might.
Jacobs.
Yeah, with Jacobs. Well, the last time they played each other, Jacobs did not play much. And that was the weekend of the fantasy football championship game. And I had Josh Jacobs. So I was not too happy.
Everything goes back to that, don't it?
But to me, look, Chicago's playing at home. What, first time they've been in the playoffs in how long? Since Mitchell Trubisky was the quarterback there and the whole Doink happened with the
Man,
kid.
I don't know. Don't even
It's
give
been a
me the
while.
line.
It's been a while.
It's
Right.
been a while.
Yeah. I just think the Bears are a better football team right now.
Want to look at some quick team leader statistical comparisons. So on the season, Jordan Love threw for 3,381 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's not elite quarterback level play for somebody his age and with his experience in the league. That's just my personal opinion. Did complete 66.3% of his passes, though. Caleb Williams, second year in the league, 3,942 yards passing, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, completed 58.1% of his passes. And if you look at the rushing comparison, DeAndre Swift ran for 1,087 yards. Bears is a little different situation rushing the ball because they pretty much do it by committee. So overall, as a team, they completely smashed the Green Bay Packers rushing yard wise. But Swift did average 4.9 yards per carry on 223 attempts. Oddly enough, Josh Jacobs, 13 touchdowns, which is great, averaged 4 yards per carry. But the yardage just isn't there. So then if you look at the receiving comparison, like Romeo Dobbs led them in receptions, 55 catches, 6 touchdowns, 13.2 yards per carry, per catch. Colston Loveland as a tight end, 58 catches for 6 touchdowns, average 12.3 yards per catch, and 713 yards. So the Bears rookie tight end had had just as many receiving yards almost as your leading wide receiver. And this is a team that, as you mentioned, Watson, he's probably out. Dobbs is always hit or miss. Matthew Golden has been a complete wash this season for him. He's giving you nothing. Quarterback coming back from injury was concussion. Only thing I can say is this: the Bears and Packers know each other too well for the Packers to lose this game. But I'll hold up. I will say this also to be a contrarian to what I just said. You may know the Bears well enough, but you don't know Ben Johnson well enough.
Well, and here's the other thing too. So Christian Watson is playing tonight, and we know what difference maker he is when he's on the field for that wide receiver group in Green Bay. He's had some pretty good games against the Bears. So
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's going to be a close game. I really do. I think that's going to be weather might be an issue. So if now we think about throwing the football, but what about kicking the football? When it's really windy, you start kicking. The field goals. They go
Start
left, they
going
go
for it on
right.
fourth down a little
Yeah,
bit
I
more.
mean, you might have to, man. And same thing with the extra points. I mean, those are not going to be any gimmicks either.
Even in that case, I trust Ben Johnson and his offense.
you-
I trust him going for it more.
You got Lions bias.
Nah, if we comparing the Bears, listen. If we're comparing the Bears to the Packers, I trust the Bears a whole lot more right now.
Now, here's the other thing too, though. Jordan Love's played in playoff games. Caleb is not. And I know earlier in the week he said, I played in big games before. It's not going to be my first one, but it's pretty different. You're in the
Well,
NFL playoffs. You're playing against a division rival. You're playing at home. So, the Boo Birds can start going if, they go 3-and-out the first possession.
yeah, well, Caleb hasn't played any, but Ben Johnson has coached in what, 3 of them? 4 of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, not as a head coach, but at least Ben Johnson has some experience, some playoff experience. They're
Or,
not
or,
both in situations where they're new to this.
or maybe he was the head coach behind Dan Campbell.
Who knows? We'll
Look at
figure that
Stephen
out.
Line's head.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, Bears, Packers, anything could happen potentially. We all remember, because we talked about this a few weeks ago. We remember how that Bears Packers game ended in Green Bay a few weeks ago, right?
Yep.
With Caleb essentially having almost the same type of situation in his hands where he had a guy wide open.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Caleb redeemed himself for that.
But everything had to go their way. They were trailing the game. They scored.
They came back because Green Bay choked it away.
They
can't
kicked the
fault the
onside
Bears
kick,
for winning it.
and they recovered. Romeo Dobbs hurt his hand.
They took the game.
It was crazy, man. One of the best games I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I think the Bears are better though. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Because the Bears want to run the football and they're going to dedicate themselves to it. I think the Bears, Ben Johnson probably he wants to prove a point too. Like, I can throw the ball on you, sure, but it feels better to run the ball 40 times at somebody.
Didn't he say he went to Chicago to beat Matt LaFleur twice a year? Well, this might be his opportunity. They're playing him 3 times.
Yeah. It's got to hurt as a Lions fan to see this man have confidence. I wonder how many Lions fans are Packer fans today.
Are you one of them?
No.
They're
not at all. I wouldn't mind seeing Ben Johnson win a Super Bowl because then it would be. I don't want to get too deep.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But yeah, it wouldn't.
I already know which way you're gonna go.
Well, let me ask you this: and you're not a Lion fan at all, but before we get out of here, let me ask you this: if you were thinking from a Lions fan's perspective, which would be more embarrassing or more hurtful? Seeing Matthew Stafford win 2 Super Bowls after he leaves, or seeing Ben Johnson leave and in year 1 he leads the Bears to the Super Bowl? He don't even have to win the Super Bowl. What if he leads the Bears somewhere where you've never been?
Yeah, Ben Johnson. I mean, because Matthew Stafford, he took you guys to the playoffs before, and he had to endure a lot of losing with that franchise, and then he moved, and you guys got Jared Goff. It was, I don't want to say even, but it was a pretty good trade for both teams.
Yeah, but looking at the evidence that the guy you traded.
But it's not just him though. You drafted players too high.
No, I get it, but I'm just laying it all out there because from a Lions fan, if you look at it from this whole perspective, they got traded for each other the same offseason, of course. It's been 5 years in Detroit, 5 years in LA. To see Stafford leave and in those same 5 years win 2 Super Bowls and before you even get the one, because this is a team in the Rams. Yeah, they said F them picks, and they had Aaron Donald high priced, and they had Jalen Ramsey, and they had Odell Beckham Jr., and they had Leonard Floyd, and they had Von Miller. But this is a team that won immediately when Stafford got there. Then they lost all those players over the next 2 off seasons. And they ended up having the youngest roster in the league 2 years ago. So they essentially won with F them picks, rebuilt the team on the fly, and lapped you right back to another Super Bowl appearance. So to me, that would hurt more as a Lion fan to see the quarterback that you traded away and the quarterback you essentially got in return for him led his new team to 2 Super Bowls before your quarterback got you to 1.
I just see it differently because
the Ben Johnson thing stinks because of the Bears too.
But here's the thing, though: we saw what the offense was with Ben Johnson, and we see what it's not with without Ben Johnson. So to me, I mean, that's the way I would feel about it.
No, I get it. I think both situations have some very heartbreaking components to them because to see Ben Johnson do it with the Miami Dolphins or the Saints would be different, but to see him do it within division with the Bears, Yeah, it would stink. It would stink really, really bad.
I
Really
mean,
bad.
think about the first year he got there, they won the division. They're in the playoffs. They're a favorite at home.
Yeah. Well, the year that Kyle Shanahan left the Falcons to become the head coach of the 49ers, did they reach the Super Bowl the very next season? Or
No, it
wait,
was the second year.
second year. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened before, but no, that's just a little anecdote. Me and Ashanti were having a discussion over as Lions fans, which
And how does he
situation.
feel about the situation?
Oh, he agrees with you.
Yeah,
He agrees with you that the Ben Johnson situation would be more
smart man.
damning
Yeah, I mean,
because Stafford's already won one.
just think about it. You know, Matthew Stafford's seen the conference, but he went to a whole different division. This guy, you got to see him twice a year.
You got to see a smug smile and and taking
I'm
his
like, hey,
shirt
you
off.
guys should have kept me. I should have been the head coach.
Uh, well, we all know who's the smartest guy in the room now. Oh boy. So listen, man, we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. We have a great day of football. Hopefully, I don't want to
I
see any
hope.
blowouts.
I look that Panthers Rams game is kind of iffy to me, but
And please, 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 no bullshit from the refs. I don't want to be sitting up here talking about these games tomorrow morning and how the refs blew this and the refs blew that and how did New York call in with this and did they have the right to do that? And I understand it's football and how these games unfold. There's too much going on for us to figure out, but I just don't want to be. I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning talking about refs.
and
I really don't.
hopefully no significant injuries
Damn
for any
right.
of the teams. You want to see good football,
Damn right. All right, so we will be back tomorrow morning, right?
right?
There we go. We got was it what is it tomorrow?
We got Buffalo, Jacksonville. We got San Francisco,
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
49ers Eagles. Huge game. I like
Yeah,
that matchup right
I
there.
like the
Too.
Eagles in that game.
Damn
Um,
already, huh?
already. I'm just gonna give that one out.
So he don't care what the line says.
I do not care.
All
And
right,
then
man.
we got New England and
Oh yeah.
Chargers
Oh yeah.
Sunday Night Football.
Yep, we got a triple header tomorrow. That's
And of
another
course,
interesting game.
we can't forget about Monday, Pittsburgh, Houston.
Snooze fest. That's another team that probably shouldn't have a home game.
Yeah,
That's a high level defense in Houston, though, boy.
it is, man.
Aaron Rodgers got a lot to deal with, but he does have DK Metcalf back, so that's better than having nothing.
Well, if he can keep his hands to himself and not go to the stands and hit fans.
Well, he's in Pittsburgh. You don't think he will punch a Steeler?
I don't know. We've seen crazier shit, man. Who knows?
Oh, in a playoff game with all lights on him, he punches a Steeler fan next to a woman, and the Steeler fan he punches spills his beer all on the woman.
Maybe the fan says you should have caught that, and he gets mad, and that's
You
how
gonna
they lose
catch
the game.
this?
Okay,
Yeah. All right, man. We got a great day of football coming up, man. Till next time, everybody take care on this Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
see you guys tomorrow.